Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a single fantastic story, and we're just going to tear it apart to find the pure engineering of success. We're looking at industrial designer Alex Chen and their famous upside-down umbrella. Our sources lay out this incredible blueprint for turning a seemingly ridiculous idea into a global bestseller.
That's exactly right. And this isn't, a deep dive into materials science or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's an analytical dive into the human brain, into market logistics. We're really analyzing the psychological and logistical hurdles Alex had to clear.
Right.
They weren't just reinventing an object. They were fighting this massive gravity of conventional bias.
That feeling that's just how things are.
Exactly. That powerful ingrained idea that if a problem has existed forever, well, it must be unsolvable.
So our mission for you, the learner, is simple. By the end of this, you will have the core lessons on perseverance, on cognitive reframing, and really embracing unconventional thinking.
We want to give you the operational recipe.
Yes. The recipe for turning your own overlooked, maybe even dismissed, dumb idea into a breakthrough reality. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The moment of origin.
We have to start with the inciting incident, the catalyst. It's always born from a specific, intense, painful point of failure.
Oh, absolutely.
So give us the full sensory detail. What was that moment that launched the whole thing?
It was a classic drenched in doubt moment. I mean, picture a miserable Monday morning in Chicago.
I can already feel it.
The kind of aggressive, horizontal rain that it seems to seek you out personally.
Right.
So Alex Chen is already running late, juggling a phone in one hand and a cup of quickly cooling coffee in the other.
The classic morning scramble.
It is. And they were relying on a brand new umbrella. A purchase that, and this is key, cost their last $20 after a weekend of overspending.
Their last $20. Okay, so the stakes are high, emotionally at least.
Very high. And then the inevitable happens.
That thing all umbrellas do.
A sudden, vicious gust of wind just immediately flips the canopy inside out. The brand new structure it collapses into this useless, wet, skeletal cage. So Alex is just left standing there, completely soaked, coffee probably spilled everywhere, feeling utterly ridiculous.
And defeated.
And professionally defeated. It's that precise, acute combination of intense frustration and public embarrassment that really acts as the trigger.
That detail about the internal emotional response is so critical.
Yeah.
Because the first impulse for most people is shame, right?
Oh.
I'm so clumsy, I should have held it tighter.
Exactly.
But the sources highlight this necessary, immediate, cognitive reframing that happened.
Absolutely. The shift was essential. They moved away from that fixed mindset of I failed to a growth mindset of the product failed. Instead of accepting the personal defeat, Alex questioned the design premise itself. The question became, why? Why are umbrellas designed to fail at the exact moment you need them most?
Leaving you soaked and, unable to get indoors without dripping everywhere.
That question is the first crucial lesson. Most people they accept the failure, they buy a new umbrella, and they move on. Alex refused to accept the premise.
So how did that moment of just pure irritation turn into a secret sketch session later that night?
Well, the frustration was just too potent to ignore.
It stuck with them.
It really did. Alex couldn't let it go. They kept replaying that image of the wet, collapsed umbrella and then realizing the obvious. If the wind isn't inevitably going to flip the canopy, why not design it to flip in a direction that contains the water and protects the mechanism? They started sketching a simple, elegant design meant to invert.
That inability to just settle for the conventional answer, that's everything.
It's the foundation.
But, of course, the immediate consequence of sharing this sketch was just dismissal.
The silent struggle of the dumb idea.
Friends just shrugged it off, saying, that's just how umbrellas are, Alex.
Yeah.
Focus on your real work.
And that rejection hits so hard because it appeals to our need for social conformity. Alex felt intensely silly. I mean, they almost physically threw the sketches away.
Wow.
Because that conventional wisdom was attacking the innovation, basically telling them they were a fool for even questioning a tool used by billions.
If everyone else accepts it, who are you to try and reinvent it?
Exactly.
And it wasn't just peers. Their own parents told them, focus on your real job.
Right, reinforcing the idea that this was just a costly, time-wasting distraction.
And then came the grueling reality of prototyping, where the early versions just kept breaking.
They failed. repeatedly and expensively. We have the specific detail that after the 5th failed prototype, they hit rock bottom.
5th one.
Sitting on their apartment floor, surrounded by broken metal parts, feeling like a complete failure, ready to give up. This is the moment where the vast majority of promising ideas just die.
So that raises a really important question for the learner. What pushed Alex past that 5th demoralizing failure? What was it?
Critical, targeted support. It was their sister's intervention after that breakdown.
Hey, look.
She didn't offer money or technical advice. She offered a vital psychological shift. She said, and I'm quoting here, "Maybe you were done, or maybe you're just one try away from something big."
That sounds incredibly motivating, but we have to look at that critically. Does relying on external support mask the need for, internal fortitude? What if that voice hadn't been there?
That is a crucial distinction. The sister's quote didn't provide the internal fortitude. It provided the emotional buffer needed to regain it. It just bought Alex a little more time to self-justify the effort. The larger lesson here is that you need a support system, even if it's just one person, to insulate you from the shame of those early failures.
So your own internal drive can take over again.
Exactly.
Okay, that persistence leads to prototype number 6. Let's move from that intense self-doubt to the very first step toward tangible external validation. What did that prototype look like?
It was a beautiful testament to functionality over form.
Meaning it was ugly.
It was functional, but definitely not beautiful. It was built using old umbrella parts and duct tape.
Duct tape, love it.
It was ugly, but it worked. It successfully inverted and contained the water. This is the stage where you have to prioritize mechanics over polish.
And what was the public's immediate kind of counterintuitive reaction to this duct tape monstrosity when Alex posted a quick video online?
Alex posted it expecting ridicule, thinking, okay, here's the proof that my friends were right to laugh.
Right.
But the response was immediate fascination, validation. Comments poured in like, "This is genius. Where can I buy this?"
Wow.
This online validation was the first tangible proof of concept. It turned a personal obsession into a real market need.
And that must have been incredible. But it was followed immediately by the wall of professional skepticism.
The massive setback. Manufacturing rejection.
This is where we need to spend some time.
This is where most true innovations die, not in design, but in logistics. Alex Chen was rejected by 12 established manufacturing companies. And these weren't soft rejections. These were professional gatekeepers slamming the door.
Why? What were the reasons?
It was always something like too complex to retool for, or uncertain market demand, or the big one, you have no track record.
The sources mention that Alex admits to crying after the 10th rejection?
Yes.
What's the psychological effect of that? Of being told professionally that your idea is a failure?
It's the ultimate professional gaslighting. You have a validated working prototype, but the industry experts are telling you your evidence is wrong. It reinforces all that original self-doubt.
Maybe I'm wasting my time.
Exactly. Hearing 12 different times that your passion project is commercially worthless it's almost enough to crush you.
So why did they keep going after 12 rejections? What specific action broke through that wall?
Persistence meant changing the medium of the argument. They didn't just stop with emailing and calling.
So what did they do?
The pivotal strategy was showing up. They started attending smaller regional trade shows, often without an official booth, and physically showing the ugly prototype.
The functional prototype.
Exactly. This act of physical presence forced the decision makers to handle the product. It's so much easier to reject a digital pitch deck than it is to reject a physical solution you're holding in your hand.
Especially one that solves such an obvious problem.
It required immense personal resilience to force those conversations, to basically say, I know you rejected the email, but now you have to look at the solution.
And that belief finally paid off. The 13th attempt was successful. Who took a chance on them?
A smaller, maybe hungrier company in Ohio finally agreed.
And this was the moment of high-risk personal commitment.
Oh, absolutely. Alex Chen spent virtually all of their personal savings on that very first small production batch. This wasn't corporate funding. This was rent money.
Wow. And the risk paid off immediately. That first batch sold out in 1 week.
1 week. Propelled by a feature on a local news segment that just went viral, the emotional vindication must have been incredible.
The ultimate I told you so.
Not just to the critics, but to that voice of self-doubt that had been plaguing them for months. It proved the market demand was real.
But this is where the story gets really interesting, because that success immediately bred a new kind of failure. What happened right after that explosive win?
The success was too fast. The second batch, rushed into production to meet demand, had a major manufacturing defect.
No.
Yeah. The component Alex had rushed to source for scaling was just inadequate. Dozens of customer complaints poured in. They had to issue refunds. It threatened to destroy the brand's reputation before it even got off the ground.
So connecting this back to the learner, the lesson isn't avoiding mistakes.
It's handling them with transparency and speed.
And what defines Alex Chen's resilience in this moment?
They demonstrated the ability to prioritize long-term trust over short-term profits. They didn't hide, didn't blame the manufacturer. They owned up to the mistake. They immediately fixed the design, upgraded the materials, and transparently communicated the error and the correction plan to their entire customer base.
That transparent accountability is what defines true resilience.
It proves you're reliable even when you fail.
Right. And from there, that repaired trust and word-of-mouth growth took over. Massive demand, shared videos, and soon a major national retailer reached out.
The dream achieved.
But it immediately brought the next terror: scaling.
The terror of scaling is the moment the inventor realizes they have to become a CEO. Alex admits they had no idea how to scale production. The challenge shifted completely.
From finding a manufacturer to managing cash flow, inventory, all of it.
All of it for national distribution.
Explain how they were successful, but still losing money. That's a concept that's hard to grasp.
It's a classic cash flow crisis, made worse by inexperience. They had huge sales volume, but the major retailer paid on a 90-day cycle. But Alex had to pay manufacturers, shipping, customs duties, and hire a team up front. They were underestimating costs, spending too much on rapid fulfillment. They had to take on high-interest loans just to keep the product moving.
So they were working around the clock, not as a designer, but as
an emergency logistics technician and a struggling financial manager.
that kind of pressure is it's unsustainable. Let's talk about the high emotional cost of this, because the sources are very honest about the human element.
Absolutely. The success was not free. Alex struggled intensely with crippling anxiety and self-doubt, even as the business was growing.
The fear changed.
It did. It shifted from, will they buy it, to, will I accidentally bankrupt this company?
All right.
They talk about the isolation, losing friends who couldn't understand why they were sacrificing everything for an umbrella, friends who still thought they were wasting time.
And all that comes at a cost to your mental health, your relationships, missing family events.
Of all of it.
So after the anxiety, the sleepless nights, the lost money, the missed relationships, what was the ultimate emotional payoff? What made it all worth it?
It wasn't the final valuation of the company, it was the connection to the user.
The validation of that original frustration.
Exactly. It was seeing customers using the umbrella on a rainy day or receiving those unexpected thank you emails confirming that the product had solved the very miserable problem Alex experienced that morning in Chicago.
That's the key lesson.
It is learning to celebrate those small, meaningful acts of impact and, crucially, learning to forgive yourself for the inevitable mistakes you're going to make along the way.
That's a powerful synthesis.
Yeah.
It proves that the whole journey, the ridicule, the failures, the rejections, it was all necessary.
It was mandatory. You have to treat every moment, the soaking wet embarrassment, the ridicule, the failed prototypes, the rejections, not as an obstacle, but as an informative step in building resilience and refining your solution.
Okay, let's bring it home. A quick summary. Alex Chen goes from intense frustration in Chicago to an ugly prototype.
Endures 12 manufacturing rejections.
Gets a chance with a small company in Ohio, survives a major manufacturing defect by prioritizing trust.
And finally becomes a global bestseller.
So if you're sitting on an idea that feels too simple or too silly, what's the essential advice here?
Number 1, do not let embarrassment stop you. Embrace the awkwardness. The very thing you feel silly about might be your unique insight into a common pain point.
Number 2, understand that every single failure, from a broken prototype to a manufacturing defect, is not a setback. It's a valuable lesson.
A lesson that leads to a stronger design, a better process, or just a more resilient mentality.
And number 3,
believe in the core idea, even when 12 professionals tell you it's dumb. That initial small hope from online validation has to be enough to sustain you through the years of rejection and terror that are guaranteed to follow.
Alex Chen realized their dumb idea had helped thousands of people avoid that exact miserable situation they experienced years ago. The world is full of these accepted annoyances, and it might just be waiting for your silly, simple idea.
Think about that sketch, that note, or that crazy idea you almost threw away because someone or your own bias told you, that's just how things are.
Refuse to accept that premise.
Go try one more time.
You might just be one try away from something big.